I caught my husband holding a child. The little boy called him Daddy loudly. And my entire world shattered instantly. I believed my husband betrayed our marriage. So I destroyed everything without hesitation. Until a DNA test proved something impossible. The child everyone blamed him for hiding was actually biologically mine. My name is Olivia Bennett. I live in Seattle, Washington now. I am 36 years old today. Daniel Bennett has been my husband for almost 8 peaceful married years. He was calm, patient, impossibly dependable. The kind of man women trusted immediately. The kind who never raised suspicion. From the outside we looked perfect together. Stable jobs, quiet evenings, shared routines daily. But one silence haunted our entire marriage. We could never successfully have children together. 3 IVF treatments painfully failed us. 2 pregnancies ended before real beginnings. Hope slowly disappeared from our home. Grief settled quietly between us instead. My final surgery nearly killed me. It happened at St. Mary Medical Center. Doctors rushed Daniel outside operating rooms. Internal bleeding almost stopped my heart. When I finally woke after surgery, everything felt strangely distant and foggy. Doctors told me devastating medical news. Pregnancy would likely never happen again. Daniel held my hand beside machines. He cried harder than I ever had. He whispered he only needed me alive. Children no longer mattered to him anymore. I believed every comforting word completely. We mourned together and moved forward slowly. Life returned to predictable routines again. Or at least I thought so then. Everything changed on one ordinary Friday. I left work earlier than expected. A terrible headache forced sudden departure. I stopped near Green Lake Park briefly. Fresh air usually helped calm migraines. People walked dogs beneath afternoon sunlight. Children laughed somewhere behind tall trees. Then I saw someone painfully familiar. Daniel sat alone on a bench. At least I thought he was alone. A small boy suddenly ran toward him. The child hugged Daniel confidently, naturally. Daniel laughed and lifted him easily. Then the boy shouted one word happily. A single word froze my breathing instantly. He called my husband Daddy repeatedly. Time completely stopped around my body. Daniel wiped ice cream from his cheeks. His smile looked deeply practiced, intimate, like years of shared hidden memories existed. Not awkward, not unfamiliar, not accidental. That tenderness never belonged to strangers. I walked closer without realizing movement. My hands trembled uncontrollably beside me. Daniel looked up and saw me. Color instantly disappeared from his face. Shock quickly turned into visible fear. Olivia, what are you doing here? His voice sounded guilty and desperate. I pointed silently toward the child. My throat refused forming proper words. Finally I forced one painful question. Is that your son, Daniel? He stood immediately, blocking the boy. It's not what you think, he said. Every cheating husband says those words. A young blonde woman approached quickly. She called the boy Lucas gently. The child grabbed her hand naturally. Understanding crashed violently into my chest. Secret family, hidden child, years of lies. 8 years suddenly meant absolutely nothing. I slapped Daniel before thinking twice. People nearby turned and stared openly. Humiliation burned hotter than heartbreak inside. Lucas began crying behind the woman. Daniel begged me quietly to listen. But rage completely drowned his voice. That night I exposed everything online. Photos from the park spread rapidly. I accused Daniel of secret betrayal publicly. My husband has another hidden family. Comments flooded within chaotic minutes. Friends supported me without hesitation. His coworkers began calling immediately. Daniel's reputation collapsed overnight completely. I wanted him to feel destroyed. At least equal to my suffering. Daniel returned home near midnight silently. He looked exhausted beyond recognition. You're destroying everything, he whispered calmly. You cheated on me, I screamed back. He stared with unbearable sadness. I never betrayed you, Olivia. I threw my wedding ring away violently. Then whose child was that boy? Daniel closed his eyes painfully long. I can't tell you the truth. Anger exploded inside my chest instantly. Because of your mistress? I demanded. He slowly shook his head once. No, because of you. 3 days later I met Emily Carter. The same woman from the park. She did not look angry or defensive. only tired beyond emotional exhaustion. We sat inside her lawyer's office quietly. After everyone left, she spoke softly. Olivia, don't you remember anything? Confusion tightened painfully inside my skull. She handed hospital documents toward me. St. Mary Medical Center logo appeared clearly. My hands started shaking uncontrollably again. Lucas was born that same night. The night of your surgery. She slid a DNA report forward slowly. My eyes reached the final result line. Probability of maternity exceeded 99%. Mother listed clearly beneath genetic results. Olivia Bennett printed in black letters. The paper slipped from my hands. Sound disappeared completely from the room. I never gave birth to anyone. I lost my baby years ago. That was what doctors told me. That was what Daniel confirmed too. Emily's voice trembled through quiet tears. You didn't lose your child, Olivia. You left the hospital without memories. You became a mother that night. And somehow, you forgot everything. I could not feel my own body. Emily's words echoed endlessly inside me. You became a mother that night. But somehow forgot everything afterward completely. My mind rejected the possibility immediately. That's impossible, I whispered repeatedly. I never held any newborn child. I never heard my baby cry. Emily pushed another document toward me. Hospital discharge records dated 3 years earlier. My signature appeared clearly at bottom. But I did not remember signing anything. You stayed unconscious for several days. Emily explained while watching my reaction. There were complications after emergency surgery. Severe trauma and temporary memory loss. My breathing suddenly became uneven again. Fragments flickered behind locked mental doors. Bright lights above surgical tables flashed. Voices shouting urgent medical instructions loudly. Someone crying near my hospital bed. Daniel's voice begging doctors desperately nearby. Then darkness swallowing everything completely whole. I woke up later, I said slowly. They told me the baby died. Emily nodded with painful hesitation. That was not entirely true. The sentence struck like cold steel. My stomach twisted violently inside me. What do you mean not true? Emily inhaled deeply before answering carefully. Your son was born alive, Olivia. He survived the delivery complications successfully. The world tilted beneath my feet. Alive, my baby was alive. But doctors told me otherwise. I whispered through trembling disbelief. Emily looked down at her hands. They believed protecting your mental stability mattered. You suffered severe post-surgical psychological trauma. You experienced dissociative memory suppression afterward. Medical words blurred into terrifying meaning. My brain erased unbearable emotional shock. Motherhood vanished from conscious memory entirely. I pressed shaking fingers against temples. Something painful struggled to resurface desperately. A newborn crying somewhere nearby. Warm skin against my chest briefly. A nurse saying congratulations softly. Then alarms screaming suddenly everywhere. Doctors rushing around frantic machines. Daniel shouting my name repeatedly. The memory snapped violently away again. I gasped loudly inside the office. Emily reached forward instinctively toward me. You're remembering pieces now, she whispered. Why didn't Daniel tell me everything? My voice cracked under rising anger. Emily hesitated before answering truthfully. He tried many times during recovery. But doctors strongly warned against forcing memories. They feared permanent psychological collapse. Daniel protected me from unbearable truth. While raising our son completely alone. The realization felt suffocating instantly. Then where were you? I demanded. Emily swallowed before meeting my eyes. I was Lucas's neonatal nurse initially. I cared for him after birth complications. You remained hospitalized several weeks afterward. Daniel visited every single day faithfully. He refused leaving the baby alone. He refused leaving you alone either. So why does Lucas live with you? The question escaped filled with suspicion. Emily's eyes filled slowly with tears. Because you pushed them both away. Confusion slammed into me again. I never abandoned my child. Emily opened another medical evaluation carefully. Psychiatric assessment dated after my discharge. Diagnosis: severe postpartum trauma response. Recommendation: avoid infant-related emotional triggers. I felt cold spreading through veins. You panicked whenever Lucas approached. Emily continued in broken whispers. You screamed that he wasn't yours. You begged nurses to take him away. My stomach turned violently again. Daniel faced an impossible decision alone. Keep forcing motherhood upon broken memories. Or protect my fragile mental recovery instead. He chose saving me first. So Emily temporarily became Lucas's guardian. Daniel visited daily as devoted father, waiting patiently for memories returning someday. 3 years passed without improvement. And then I destroyed everything publicly. Tears blurred my vision completely now. Daniel never cheated on me once. He carried unbearable truth silently alone, while I accused him before everyone. Guilt crushed my chest mercilessly. I ruined his life, I whispered. Emily nodded sadly without disagreement. But there's something else, she added. Fear crawled slowly along my spine. What else could possibly remain? Emily slid one final report forward. Internal hospital investigation summary attached. My name appeared repeatedly throughout pages. So did another unfamiliar physician's name. Dr. Nathan Caldwell. He supervised your emergency procedure personally. Emily explained with visible unease. My heartbeat suddenly accelerated dangerously. Why is there an investigation file? Emily's voice dropped almost to silence. Because someone altered your medical records. The room became impossibly quiet again. Altered, how? I asked slowly. She met my terrified stare directly. The report states your baby survived. But official discharge papers declared infant death. A deliberate lie documented permanently. Someone decided I should forget motherhood. Someone changed the truth intentionally. My hands began shaking uncontrollably again. Are you saying this was planned? Emily hesitated only one moment. Yes. And Daniel never knew. Cold terror flooded through my body. If Daniel told the truth earlier, someone powerful could have stopped him. Someone inside the hospital system. Someone who wanted my child hidden. Outside, sirens echoed through Seattle streets. But inside me, something worse awakened. Because suddenly one question burned strongest. If Lucas was truly my son, why did someone erase him from me? I could barely breathe leaving that office. Seattle rain blurred lights outside windows. Nothing in my life felt real anymore. Someone erased my child intentionally. Someone rewrote my motherhood completely. And I helped destroy my husband publicly. Guilt followed every step toward home. Daniel's empty side of the bed waited. Silence filled spaces once shared together. I finally understood his exhaustion now. 3 years carrying unbearable secrets alone. That night I called Daniel repeatedly. Every call went directly to voicemail. Panic slowly replaced crushing shame inside. Then Emily texted a short message. Daniel picked Lucas up earlier today. He looked shaken after your meeting. Fear tightened painfully around my chest. What if he disappeared with Lucas forever? What if he never forgave me again? I drove toward Daniel's apartment immediately. Rain hammered violently against windshield glass. Memories flickered stronger with every mile. Hospital lights, machines beeping urgently. A baby crying somewhere beside me. My baby. I reached his building breathless, shaking. Daniel opened the door cautiously slowly. Lucas stood behind him holding toy dinosaurs. The boy looked directly at me. Brown eyes identical to mine stared. Something inside me finally broke open. Recognition struck deeper than logic allowed. My knees nearly collapsed beneath me. I remember, I whispered hoarsely. Daniel froze completely in disbelief. Fragments returned all at once violently. Holding Lucas after difficult delivery. Kissing his tiny forehead carefully. Promising never to leave him alone. Then unbearable pain flooding my body. Doctors shouting about internal bleeding again. Someone ordering emergency sedation immediately. And one unfamiliar voice arguing loudly. Dr. Caldwell. The name exploded inside my memory. He insisted additional procedures were necessary. Daniel protested outside operating doors desperately. Security escorted him away forcefully. Darkness swallowed everything afterward completely. I looked at Daniel trembling violently. They separated us intentionally, I said. Daniel's face turned pale instantly. What are you remembering exactly? They wouldn't let you inside. I continued through rising terror. And Caldwell kept insisting something urgent. Daniel stared like truth finally aligning. He asked me about insurance coverage. Daniel said, slowly remembering details. He mentioned experimental recovery treatments briefly. Cold understanding spread through both of us. Lucas became valuable to someone powerful. Emily arrived minutes later unexpectedly. She carried additional investigation documents carefully. Hospital administration reopened internal inquiries recently. Several newborn records showed suspicious alterations. Multiple infants reassigned during complications. My stomach dropped violently again. Human trafficking? Daniel whispered carefully. Emily nodded with visible horror. Dr. Caldwell supervised every suspicious case. Families told babies died unexpectedly afterward. Yet no verified death certificates existed. Lucas was nearly taken permanently. But why wasn't he? I asked. Emily looked directly at Daniel. Because Daniel refused signing transfer authorization. Daniel remembered that terrifying moment clearly. Staff pressured him during Olivia's surgery crisis. Forms appeared demanding emergency neonatal relocation. He refused without Olivia's consent firmly. That refusal saved Lucas completely. Caldwell changed another strategy afterward. Declare infant death within official records. Wait until family emotionally collapsed entirely. Then quietly remove surviving newborn later. But my psychological breakdown complicated everything. Doctors prioritized stabilizing my mental condition. Lucas remained under neonatal supervision longer. Emily noticed irregular paperwork discrepancies early. She secretly contacted hospital ethics investigators. Internal audits began quietly months later. Caldwell suddenly resigned without explanation. Several administrative files disappeared overnight. And my memories never returned afterward. Until now. Police sirens echoed outside suddenly nearby. Blue lights flashed through apartment windows. Emily checked her phone quickly. They arrested Caldwell tonight, she whispered. Federal investigators connected multiple missing infants. Evidence surfaced after reopening your records. My legs trembled uncontrollably again. 3 years stolen from motherhood forever. 3 years Daniel raised Lucas alone. 3 years believing my child died. Lucas walked slowly toward me then. He studied my face carefully, silently. Daddy says you're mommy, he said softly. Tears blurred everything beyond recognition. I knelt carefully before my son. Afraid memory might disappear again suddenly. Hi Lucas, I whispered gently. He hugged me without hesitation. Warmth flooded through forgotten instincts instantly. My body remembered before my mind fully. Daniel watched us silently crying nearby. I'm sorry, I told him repeatedly. For destroying everything you protected. Daniel shook his head slowly. You were protecting yourself from pain. For the first time in years. Truth finally replaced misunderstanding completely. Later that night we sat together quietly. Lucas slept between us peacefully safe. Rain stopped outside Seattle streets finally. I realized something terrifyingly simple then. The greatest betrayal wasn't Daniel's silence. It was trusting strangers over family love. I accused the only innocent person. While monsters hid behind medical authority. And if DNA results never appeared, I would have lost my child forever. Sometimes betrayal looks exactly like protection. Sometimes love survives impossible misunderstandings. And sometimes the truth waits patiently. Until memory finally comes home.